Hey, hey. All right, so I think I am live, and I just want to say welcome. Thank you guys for joining me today. Um, all right, so I am going to share my screen. Before I get started, I just want to make sure I get that all set up. If you are hopping on with me, please say hello in the comments and just tell me that you can hear me okay, first of all, and that you can see me okay. And then we will get started. So, um, really quick, I just want to say I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Evelyn Tribble. I actually changed the order of this challenge. This is the 5-day reset challenge that I like to call Swap the Waste, Fuel the Change. I've been doing it since last year. It's been a year now. This will be the 6th time I run it. So love this reset. I have been getting so many just testimonials from women that are participating, even men participating in this reset challenge that really helps them get down to just some what their next step is, right? Just like pinpoint something where life feels off, they can't really pinpoint it, and this just has really given them clarity. So I am super excited to do this. I did change the order of this challenge. I was actually going to start with the mind, but I really felt led to start with the body first. And the truth is that if your body is exhausted, okay, your nervous system can't even think through anything. So we're not going to talk mindset yet, right? We're first going to talk about the body and understanding the body and why it might feel off, um, why it might be exhausted, right? I think everything in your life is going to feel harder anyway. Um, than it actually is if you're in a state of exhaustion. And so what that is, we're going to get down to the root of it. Just really talk about realizing or getting down to the root versus just treating a symptom, right? And so I want you to know that if you are feeling that right now, just exhaustion, fatigued, um, you're not broken, and your body just might be feeling depleted and just unsupported. So, how can we support it? So, we're going to talk about that. But before I get to that, I want to share my screen here. I think I can do it. Present. Let's see if I can even do that. Will it let me? And that is the question. Content only side by side. Maybe we can do side by side, okay? Ah, let's see if we can do this. Okay, so that's what this is. This is a 5-day challenge. We're going to talk about the body, the home, the mind. I'm also throwing in finances. So tomorrow will be on the mind. Then we'll talk about the home. Then we'll talk about some finances. And then last day we're going to end with purpose and just doing it in God's way. Okay. All right. So today is understanding the foundation of fueling your body, what that looks like. I just want to give you a heads up. I have a coaching, program where I actually walk you through what it means to go through this through the eyes of the Remain method. And so it's biblically based, but it's also very scientific. Just a little bit about me. I do not coach from theory, okay? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a scientist. But I do coach from a place of transformation. So what I'm going to teach you, I have walked through, and I have had my own breakthroughs, and I have found clarity. in the process. And so, yes, I'm going to bring in Bible, very biblically based. I'm also going to bring in lots of science and based on research and my own transformation. Okay. So you're going to see that. So if you've been feeling scattered or you've just been feeling off or like you know what to do, you just need to get on that bandwagon again and you need that accountability and support. This is just a 5-day reset, okay? This is what's going to help build momentum for like getting you to a place of like, okay, I know what to do. And it's not now, not just in my mind, not just in my heart, but now I actually have the tools to feel supported in the process. And so that's what this is going to help you do. I will talk about my 12-week experience program, the group coaching, personal, private, sessions versus group sessions. We'll talk about that. But I just want you to know that right now, this week, okay, it's really about you. It's really about taking the time to just take notice and come with from a place of curiosity. I have had the privilege of working with several women, and these 2 women really stand out for me as well. I just wanted to share their testimonial. Amber Till, amazing entrepreneur. We just got on a clarity call, right? And she was really able to find clarity on what her next step was. And in that process, she found what the root of it was. And so, and in her own journey, right? But she allowed herself just this time to really just give herself permission to get curious and to really allow healing. And so that led into her actual physical healing, some, conversations with her doctor, and she would be, she's open to sharing this, so that's why I'm sharing, but just conversations with her doctor that led to some, like, her really being able to find answers for what was really going on, and that she wouldn't have to just self-sabotage herself anymore, right? That there was a root cause for it, and she was able to find and get into that. And then she's walking out that journey now, right? And so I just think that was really, really cool. Another session with, this was more of a private session with Renee Miller. She was at a place when she first found me. We've known each other for years. In fact, she was my she hired me right out of college with accounting. So, oh my goodness, love her dearly. But when we refound each other, her mind was in a good place after having some time together. She did this 5-day reset, and then we did some private coaching. Her mind began to be in a good place. She was waking up, spending time in prayer. She had Bible study with her husband. So again, it was just she knew what to do. Just that desire to get back to that. She just didn't feel supported, and she was going through that. And so having those private sessions just helped her to feel supported, and she began drinking more water, sleeping better, and just able to know how to reframe those negative thoughts that were really just crippling her in her workplace and as a mom, as a husband, as a wife, as a mom, as a daughter. Okay. And so, yeah, she began cooking her own meals and just taking some bioactive peptides that began to support her just in that journey. And then she made the decision, okay, now what do I need to do next, right? Okay, so real quick, I don't have the workbook here handy with me, but get out your workbook. For those that are registered, if you do not have this workbook yet, just comment workbook in the comments, and I will make sure to get you that registration link so that you can get your workbook. This is going to walk you through this week. And this is the workbook. I'm not going to say it's the magic, but it's the thought work that is going to create the magic that you need, okay? The support that you need. The magic that you need is really just right now, just pinpointing, giving yourself space and permission to give yourself this time, okay? To really walk through what are the different things we're working through, and there's 3 questions. You work through it, give you some action steps. I'm gonna, walk you through day 1, but day 1 today is body, okay? And so if you do not have this, I encourage you to get the registration link so that you can print it out, or if you don't have a printer, you can really just pull it up on your phone, okay? It'll come to you by email, and pull it up on your phone and literally get yourself a journal or just somewhere where you can write down the questions to these or the answers to these questions. Write down your notes as we're working through this. What comes up for you, right? What comes to mind? Write those down. That's what's going to be crucial to you building this momentum. That's where you're going to find your first transformation before you do anything else. It's just giving you some clarity. And so this is the workbook, okay, where you're going to really experience that. I encourage you to grab it, print it out, or just have it handy so that you can write down on your journal, okay? All right, so if you don't have it, drop workbook in the comments and I will make sure to give that to you. All right, I am going to share this really quick to my group because I just realized that my group is waiting for it. Okay, all right, okay, awesome. Tell me hello in the comments. I see some of you are hopping on and I would love to see who you are. And maybe you are, hey, good morning, Yvonne. I love you. Thank you so much. Actually, is it good morning for you? So it is 1 p.m. Eastern. I know that I'm broadcasting, and so it could, some of you are Mountain Time, some of you are over there, California time. What do we call that? Pacific? So I love that. Okay. All right, really quick. This is the leaderboard, okay? There is some prizes. I always want to put some prizes on here because I want you to do the work. I want you to encourage to do that thought work. The thought work, which is the workbook, is the hardest part you will ever have to do. If you can get through the thought work, which is the workbook, okay, that is where you're going to start knowing and finding transformation. Because of that, I love prizes and I'm putting out some prizes out there for you, okay? The top winner is going to get some bioactive peptides. We'll talk about that. But basically, just, we're going to talk about this, but I do want to share that. The number 2 winner is going to get some home detox supplies, okay? So that's this. I will talk about that too on day 3. And then the third one is going to get that clarity call that I was telling you about, that Amber Tail did with me and just was able to really pinpoint. So that you will win as a third. Okay, who is up here already on the leaderboard is Leslie Spiegel with 30 points, Darlene with 20 points, Yvonne, hello, with 20 points, and Daisy Goad with 20 points. So you're probably asking, how in the world did I get these points already? Okay, so I'm going to tell you. First one is to get registered. So if you registered, you automatically got 20 points. So there you go. That's how, okay? And if you want those extra bonus 20 points, okay, so you can get extra bonus 20 points every day in the group, in the From Burnout to Bold group. So if you're not on there yet, let me know. I'm gonna make sure that you get in there, okay? It should have come through your email. That's where you should be in. That's where all of the replays are gonna be held. And the homework assignments, everything's gonna get posted on there this week, this entire week, okay? When you get, there is going to be an event on it. So if you just go back and click going, you're going to get an extra 20 points, all right? When you print out your workbook, you get 10 points. That's how Leslie Spiegel, I know, has gotten her printed out, okay? So that's how she got 30 points. If you're not letting me know, just tell me. So post it as a picture of it, put it in the comments. That way I know. Or tag me. You can put it on your stories, tag me, okay? Just let me know so that I can give you the points, all right? You've got all week long, okay? All right, number 3, the next way you can do it is by doing the daily task. So in your workbook, there's going to be an actual daily task. I promise I will have this tomorrow. I told Leslie that I would have it, and I'm like, here we go. I don't have it handy because I'm not in my office. I'm in my dining room today. So, okay. So yes, when you do your daily task, okay, you're going to get 10 points. And so that's 50 total for the whole week because it's 5 days, 10 points each, okay? You're going to ramp up points really quick. Number 4, when you complete that daily task, okay? So you're going to do the daily task. You're not just going to complete it, but when you actually post it, you can either put it in the Facebook group, okay? From Burnout to Bold in that group, or you can, again, tag me in your stories, and that way I know you actually did it, but you're also sharing it. If you don't want to share like your notes or whatever, it's just in the Facebook group. It's okay. You can just text me. I just, just me being able to see it is what gives you that extra 30 points, okay? At the end, around Thursday, Friday, I'm going to start asking for testimonials, kind of like what has shifted for you already. I promise you that if you do today, you're going to already start seeing a shift, okay? Tomorrow is going to be really powerful. You're going to start seeing a shift. So by Thursday, you're going to like really know what is shifting for you. You post that in the group, or again, just tag me in your stories. You're going to get that bonus 30 points. 30 points, 50 points for attending the session live or watching the replay and like commenting, okay? So throughout, so just put points for now, and it tells me, comment points because you're listening to me or you're hearing this, watching the replay or watching live. You know how to get your points, okay? And then again, every time you tag me in your stories, you get another 10 points for that. Okay, so there we go. That is just the basics. That was housekeeping stuff. We're going to get into the content. Why is this so important? Why is the body and understanding the body and how we fuel our body so important? Well, let me tell you this. Now, more than ever, women and men are realizing that mental clarity doesn't last without physical support. What does that mean? We're going to get into that, okay? All right, so let me stop share real quick. And yeah, I have notes. Let me pull up my notes here, okay? All right. I'm going to give you a reference in the Bible, okay, where we see this legitimately playing out, okay? What I mean is that now more than ever, clarity cannot happen unless your body feels supported. Have you ever thought about that? Just think about, put it in the comments. When was the last time that you felt so overwhelmed with all the things that had to happen that day that you couldn't even remember what you walked into that room to get? Like you could not even remember. Or you went down to write something, right? And then you were just like, what was I about to write? Okay, tell me if that has ever happened to you, or when was that last time? Like, tell me, yeah, I'm seeing this. Okay, sometimes our body is going through a lot of physical things that we don't even know and understand because we don't take the time to understand because we haven't supported it. It just does not feel supported. That it does not matter how much mind work you do. if that doesn't get supported, it's very hard to see past anything else. Okay. So I'm going to tell you in the comments, all right? I'm going to share with you a story in the Bible where we actually see this. Elijah. Elijah was a prophet, okay? And his story is actually found in 1 Kings 19, 1 through 19. So if you want to hear just 1 Kings, you'll find Elijah, but specifically in chapter 19, okay? There was a moment in the Bible where Elijah felt really overwhelmed. He was anxious, he was discouraged, he was just ready to give up, okay? And what does God do? Well, he doesn't correct his mindset first, actually. He doesn't give him a strategy. He just says, I want you to rest. He lets him rest. He feeds him. He takes care of his body. And then he speaks to him. And when he speaks to him, he actually speaks to him in the silence, in the whisper, okay, in a small, gentle whisper. But before he could even do that, he's like, let's get some sleep. Let's get some eat. God is very practical God, okay? He knew that from the very beginning. He knew that we are physical beings, all right, who need to support our body. So sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to support your body. Comment support your body if you're following with me, if you're tracking with me, if this is making sense, if this is like, yeah, I've totally experienced that moment where I felt so overwhelmed, but it was from exhaustion and I had no idea, right? I took a little nap, I slept, and then I was fine. Okay? Just comment support your body if this is speaking to you. Okay. Now, this let's talk about this honestly. Most women are trying to fix symptoms like the I'm so tired, I have no motivation, I feel off, but we don't actually stop and ask why. Have you ever thought about that? And so that's what I want you to do today. I want you to ask why. Why am I so tired? I want you to put on your curiosity hat. Oh, and this is the thought work, right? I want you to put on your curiosity hat from a third person, looking in, and maybe sitting down and having a conversation with yourself. Okay, I'm tired. Why am I so tired? Okay, I have no motivation. Why might I have no motivation? What might be causing me to not have motivation? I feel off. What might be making me feel off? Okay, that's all. That's all. And because what I want us to do is I want us to start looking at not just managing our symptoms. I don't, not to treat the symptom, right? Jesus and God didn't go to Elijah and start treating that symptom of exhaustion. He actually understood the root and that he needed food and he needed rest. And so that's where he started with him, right? And then he spoke to him, right? So he didn't go straight into managing the symptom, right? And so one thing I want to encourage you to do is to take some blood work. Blood work. If you comment blood work, if you're just like, I know the last time I got my blood work done. All right. And this is going to help you create awareness. All right. For understanding your body. So remember, I'm going to tell you Bible references, but I'm also going to give you a lot of science behind all of this too. Okay. It's hard to understand your body, not my body, not bodies in general, okay? But now we're talking about your body. If you don't know your starting point, and sometimes I get it, you were afraid to go get blood work because we don't want to find out things. Or maybe because we don't feel ready maybe we're afraid that we have to make changes in our life and in our lifestyle, but we're not ready for them. I get that, right? Our nervous system is just like, oh, I need to get to that point. So your place of starting might not be blood work. It might be mindset, right? Which we're going to get into too tomorrow. But I'm talking about if you are ready for that and you are curious, you're in a place of curiosity and want to know what's going on, start with getting blood work, okay? And this will help you create some awareness. What's your starting point? And get you just like really, really hone in on your body. So knowing your numbers is important, getting your blood work, obviously, to know what your numbers are, and start studying those. Paying attention to what your symptoms are saying to you, right? What's going on in the body outward? What's happening? What is manifesting that perhaps there are symptoms, and again, we don't want to just treat the symptoms. We want to get at the root. That's why we're going to get blood work and just starting to know what those numbers are, and maybe seeing what the correlation is between the blood work results and your symptoms, right? Because your body is always communicating. It's going to communicate inflammation. It's going to communicate the way your hormones respond. It's going to communicate how your blood sugar levels, are 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 affecting, certain parts of your body, or even like your mind or how you respond, right? Your immune system. Maybe there's some nutrient deficiencies in there. Like I just found out my vitamin D was a little elevated. Well, guess what? I've been giving myself too much of vitamin D supplement, right? I didn't know that I had, so basically I had to reduce the amount. I got off of it for 4 weeks and then I could get back on it, right? But with a lower dosage, okay? So my body just didn't need as much, right? I wouldn't have known that had I not gone to get my blood work, okay? So just know that all those things are not random. Your symptoms and your blood work numbers, they coincide, they work, there's a correlation, they're not random by any means. And so it's good to get curious with that, okay? So if you're ready for the body and to get that blood work, if your nervous system is good with that, it's feeling good, then that might be your next step. Okay. Because I will say that sometimes when you guess and you don't know where your starting point, it could lead to frustration because you just like don't know what's happening and why your body is doing what it's doing because all you see is the symptoms, right? So, in order for you to have alignment with your body, your home, your mind, your finances, your purpose, all of that, you need to have clarity, and that's sometimes where clarity. So it might be for you blood work. So comment blood work if this is resonating with you and you're just like, ooh, blood work. Okay. If that's something you're writing down on your notes, okay? All right, now I'm going to talk about the simple body basics, okay? So let me get my, let me pull up my, see, I want to show you this really quick. Okay, all right, so this is what I mean by symptoms, okay? Different symptoms, same root. And I teach this as part of my coaching program. Here's what I'm talking about. Let's just say you have a pot of boiling water and you see that steam, right? It's coming up. You see that steam. And let's say that you were to put a lid on that pot. What's going to start happening? The steam's no longer going to go up, right? The water is going to start dripping out the sides. And so we can say that when we put a lid on a pot of boiling water and you start seeing the water dripping, on the sides, it's going to overflow. That could be just so that you can, kind of visualize it. It could be what stress would do, what sugar would do, where your energy isn't gone, but it's trapped, where you're feeling like you're just on survival mode, like you are literally burnt out. Have you ever felt burnt out, right? Like you can't do anymore. you're burnt out. You're just like, it's like you can barely just take one foot in front of the other because you've got a lot going on between, family life, work life, between your own working through your own personal symptoms that you know are there and very real, but maybe just not even feeling like you have time to deal with those, right? It's just something else you have to deal with. Maybe it's a older parent taking care of elderly parents, right? Not just small children, but elderly parents. Maybe it's a mixture of both. All of that can cause. Maybe you just had a child, right? So you're in like that stage of like postpartum depression, by the way, is a very real thing. It's a real thing. I didn't know it was a real thing, but it's a very real thing, right? And so just even just you feel like you're going from, feeding one baby to, potty training to like, giving birth, like all the things. So, and relationships, just to even make it worse, like let's just say, you've got some relationships that have broken down and that are really near and dear to you, and that can cause stress as well, or feeling like you're just in survival mode, sugar level, like all of that. Okay, that's what I want you to think of it as this. Okay, now there is a connection between the gut and your energy levels. The gut acts as your command center for your mood, your immune system, and your energy. I just want to put out visuals so that you can see it and understand. So there's your gut, there's your immune system, there's your energy, there's your mood, there's a mood. When, for example, if there's an autoimmune attack, okay, then it is going to impact so when there's an autoimmune attack, it's going to impact um, your thyroid levels even, okay? So it's going to damage your thyroid levels. Your thyroid, when your thyroid begins to malfunction, for example, that is going to slow down your metabolism. When your metabolism slows down, that's going to impact your gut. Like you can start seeing how all of this works together, right? It's all connected. So the gut is that command center. When there's inflammation or overflow, right? And that's what ends up happening when your metabolism slows down. Now you're going to have an increase in inflammation. So when there's inflammation in the gut, I mean, it's just going to make everything feel harder. Now you're no longer able to. You have that what they call permeability, where the toxins that are coming into your body, whether it's the way you clean, whether it's the things you're using to clean your home, the things you're using to clean your car, your vehicle, whether it's at work, whether it's the pollen, right, whether it's the foods you're eating, now it's not able to detox as well, or all these toxins are going to get through because that lining is wearing down, right? It's just it becomes, it's not going to like work as well, right? And it just feels harder. Everything that needs to everything that just feels much harder than it needs to be. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. All right. And I think it's a very real thing to really consider when you start seeing all of this and how it's connected. So blood sugar, what does it affect? Your blood sugar affects your mood. Protein, what does it affect? Your stability. Hydration, what does it affect? It affects your clarity, how you're able to discern, things. Your muscle, long-term energy. So, and that's why before we start going so complex, I just want to start with the basics, right? Are you having enough protein? Just so you know, just take your body weight just to have an idea. Take your body weight. Let's say it's 100 pounds, just for easy numbers, okay? 100 pounds should be 100 grams of protein daily, okay? So are you having enough protein? are you drinking plenty of water? And not just water, but are you taking electrolytes with your water? So water, you can drink water, but if you're not having electrolytes with your water as well, so either putting it into your water or having electrolytes in your foods, okay? Sea salt, lime, look it up, okay? But things that actually give you electrolytes, um, then sometimes you can still feel dehydrated, right? Because you can actually overdrink water. You can drink too much water. Just so that you have an idea about water, um, take your weight, so 100, and divide it by 2. So 50 ounces of water, okay? That kind of gives you an idea, 50 ounces of water. All right, so you can drink too much water because it will begin to deplete your electrolytes. Like, you don't want that either, right? So adding electrolytes to your water. Okay, not enough muscle. So when you don't, so the older we age, okay, if you're in your 20s, you're in your prime age, you are producing the hormones that you need to create muscle. All right, just in simple terms. When you hit 30, though, that that percentage of how much you're building lowers by a certain percentage. When you hit 40s, it lowers again. When you hit 50s, it lowers again. So not having muscle actually can, impact your stability, right? How much protein your body has. Like we need, it's why it's so important that we add protein to our diet, but also that we strength train, that we build muscle, because the older we get, we're no longer, we're still producing it, but not as much anymore. So our lean muscle is going to decrease naturally just by aging. So just building muscle is huge. And then really watching our stress load, right? Taking the time to give ourselves 5 minutes of resets, or 10-minute reset time, right? Just for going for a walk, sitting down in the quietness of things, not having noise around, just giving ourselves time to think. Waking up in the morning with some sort of, morning routine that allows you to set your day in the right track. So those are all huge. And a lot of people are like, so this might be an answer for you. So I'd be like, yeah, this is where I feel like I need to support my system, right? Is allowing myself to work on those 3 things. So comment protein if you're just like, yeah, protein is one thing I want to work on. Focusing on the amount of protein that I'm having, okay? Water, comment water if you're just like, ooh, water. That's where I want to focus on. How about muscle? If you're like, ooh, yes, building lean muscle, that's my next step. Like that's where I want to be. Comment stress if you're just like, okay, yep, stress, that's where I want to stabilize. That's what I want to normalize for me, and really find that balance. Okay. All right. So what are ways that let's talk about something that has been coming up a lot, and that's peptides, because what are ways that we can actually support our body? Okay. And so I want to talk about this, but I want to simplify peptides, because it is one of the things that, one of the prizes here. And one of these is the lean peptides. They come from a company named Make Wellness. All right. Okay. So what are peptides? Peptides, in just basic terminology, are a chain of amino acids. That's it. Our bodies produce amino acids. And I am going to do a training on this to be more specific, but I just want you to know the basics, okay? I want to simplify it. There's 2 different types, and they serve different people, okay? So if you are someone who is generally healthy, if you are already, trying to take care of yourself, you just want to feel better. You have gotten blood work, that's normal, right? You know your numbers, and you just want to feel better, clearer, more energized. That is where bioactive, non-synthetic peptides can support you, and that's what these are. These are bioactive, non-synthetic. So synthetic just means that it is created in a lab to resemble, something, something natural. Okay. So this is not created in a lab kind of thing, right? And it's not trying to mimic something else in any way, but it is something that our body already produces. It is something that our body already produces. So the ones like this, okay, they're simple. You take them daily, very supportive. People like it that they're, no needles, and you don't really need a provider visit for this, okay? I started taking this about a year and a half ago when my inflammation indicators were a little high. And what I personally notice is my inflammation is normal. Like, I just took my blood work, went back within the year, it was normal. I just took it again last week, and it is normal. It actually also, my thyroid, is just like normal. I have no inflammation indicators, nothing going off like that. Okay, so I love it, specifically how it's worked for me. But I started initially taking them because I wanted to. This actually has a anti-curb trimfest complex. So basically, it helps to helps that, stubborn belly fat. And that's initially why I started taking it, right? As my progesterone levels were decreasing, I could tell that I was hitting that perimenopause stage. All of a sudden, I was like, "Ooh, what's that?" Right? A little pooch there. And I want to feel healthier. I'm in it for longevity purposes. So I started taking this. So I wanted to do it to support me and what I was already doing, which was my exercising and lifting weights, drinking my water, eating. It's helped me to be more cognizant of the protein, and my water. Okay. So very good. Very helpful. Also, Fit, that's another one that I take, and I'll be able to give some of these out too, but I just have two to give. But this one helps me with building lean muscle. Again, I'm already working out, so this is just there to support me, and I was able to see the defined lines of building lean muscle. That's pretty cool, right? So again, it's there. It's already non-synthetic, bioactive, no needles, no need for provider visits. They're there to support what you are already doing. That might be all you need, okay? Now, let's talk about what if you need some intervention? What if you're dealing with deeper things like insulin resistance, PCOS, right? Metabolic issues. PCOS is basically when your hormones you're still in reproductive stages, right? But they're a little out of whack, and so you need support in that. Metabolic issues, okay? High inflammation and stubborn weight. What if your body may need a stronger provider-led approach, meaning medical intervention, okay? But you don't want to go down the road of maybe hormone therapy quite yet, right? Because once you have hormone therapy interaction, like, your body will never produce it on its own. So you still want to provide your body support so that it can produce it on its own. That might be something like LEMD, for example, another company that has these peptides, but they're different. They're different in the sense that they're prescribed, they're targeted, they're medically guided. Okay, so you want that, and that would be different. So there's not one better option. It just depends on what your body actually needs, okay? So some of you need support, some of you need deeper intervention, and both are completely okay. It's just knowing where you're at. So if you are curious about this topic of peptide, I am going to be doing a simple training on it, Peptide 101. All right, so comment peptide. I'll make sure that I let you in on that as well. I can send out the replay or I'll let you know when it is. Okay? All right, but for today, I just want to keep it simple. I want you to choose one thing. Is it protein that you want to add to your next meal? Is it that you want to figure out what your weight is and then you want to match that protein, the grams and protein with that weight, okay? Is it water? Is it maybe that you just want to add water before you drink your coffee in the morning? Just 1 8-ounce glass of water. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's that you want to move your body for just 10 minutes. Okay, so just choose one simple thing. I want you to look at understanding your body, detoxing your body. That, for you, for those of you that are doing the workbook, that's the one I want you to focus on. Answer those 3 questions. Okay, look at your notes, whatever it is that you note, what stood out for you, and then choose one of those action steps in the bottom. Okay. If none of those like resonate with you, maybe it's adding protein to your next meal, maybe it's drinking water before coffee, maybe it's moving your body for 10 minutes, but just give yourself time to think through that for today, okay? Again, when your body is supported and it's understood, everything else is going to become easier to align. I promise you, okay? So that's why we started off today with the body. Tomorrow we're going to go into the mind. And it's going to make so much more sense. And then we're going to go into your home, then your finances, and then your purpose. And through this week, what I want you to consider me as is more of your reset partner, okay? Kind of like your compass. I'm going to help you take simple steps back into the alignment that you want to be or that you once knew was there, right? But maybe you're just needing that little compass again. Life has gotten a lot of things have happened, but you're ready for that reset. And so you're here. But I'd love to hear from you. What stood out the most today? Put it in the comments. What are you going to focus on? Okay. Or comment peptide if you want that training. And I'll get you in on that. All right. So thanks for joining here today. I'm going to see you back tomorrow. Remember, you're not behind. You just might not have had the right support or the right clarity yet. And so that's what we're working on. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Tomorrow.